everybody. Welcome back to DNS Live. It's Wednesday night. We're dealing with some storms and on live TV. I kind of want to start at the top of the show real quick, sending some prayers and shouts out in West Texas. Before we went on, I was monitoring Facebook, and there's been a fertilizer plant explosion out there where some homes and some buildings are on fire right now, so they're trying to get some help out there. So let's make sure and keep them in our thoughts and prayers tonight, because we've had enough stuff going on in the country this week. We don't need anything else going on. Anyway, so tonight we have got Unknown Paranormal. We've got my friend Kevin on. Kevin, how are you tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
Can you hear me, Kevin?
Yeah, I can hear you
there
fine.
You are. Did you get enough rest after the Unity Fest?
Yeah, I finally got some rest. It was a long weekend, but yeah, I got rested back up.
I tell you, that was a beating that weekend. I think we were all crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, what have you been up to since then? What have you guys been up to?
Well, we went to Jefferson, not last weekend, but the weekend before, for a conference there, and had a lot of fun there. And now we're basically trying to get some new members trained in the group. Our next investigation is next month. May 18th, we're going to Arkansas to investigate tuberculosis.
Where are y'all going in Arkansas?
We're going to Old Arkansas.
Yes, I love that place. You've been there.
Like that place?
Have you been there before?
Yes, we went last year and had a lot of crazy stuff happen.
Yeah, have you been there yet?
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite places, and we can't wait to go back. Deegan hasn't been yet, so I've been kind of telling him how much fun that place is. It's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
So what are you doing? The middle of May?
Yeah, middle of May.
So you'll have to touch base with me when you get back. Let me know how it went.
Yeah, we're going up there with Larry Flaxman and RPath, so it should be a lot of fun.
Nice. So, okay, so you're adding new members. How many members do you have on the team now?
We have 8. I'm going to add probably 4 more. Yeah, we have a big team, but with everybody's schedules and family and whatnot, usually the way things work out, every investigation, we just have just enough to do an investigation. So it's not like I have all 12 on a case.
Yeah.
Whatnot. But yeah, I want to get some new people in. Shonda on my team, if you haven't seen on Facebook, she's expecting a new baby, her and her husband. So
Saw that.
yeah. So that's another reason I got to get some people in, you know, because at some point Shonda's going to have to take some time off and be a mama.
Do you think just because she's having a baby, she needs some time off from ghost hunting?
Well, that's up to her, but you know, I have to prepare as a leader of the team just in case she does take some time out, you know.
So have you located people that come on to the team, or you have some people in mind? If anybody wants to join the team, are you opening that up for people to try out, or how are you doing that?
Yeah, I mean, we're talking to a few people right now, and that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be a part of the team yet. That's strictly up to, we kind of have a democracy over here, and I bring the people on, we hang out, we might take them out to the cemetery and show them a little bit about what we do, so they kind of get a feel for how we investigate and see if they want to be a part of it. And then our team votes, you know, and then we'll put them on a probationary period and go from there. So it's a process.
Yeah, that's kind of how you've done it.
Yeah. In the past, when I first started the team, I just said, "Oh, you want to be a part of the team? Here you go. Come on board." And then, you know, you find out.
And you find later,
they're not what you want for your team. So now we do it more in a process.
You know, when I was with Torch, we actually had a process that we kept in place actually from, you know, I started off with Hip Society 3 years ago, and we actually had a process in place that we made people go with us on 3 different investigations. and they had to work with each team member, and then there was like a pool of everybody coming together to, hey, is it a good personality fit? Are they going to be a good fit? Are they serious about what they do? That type of thing. So it was kind of like a vote, but we stretched it out a little bit, and even then they were on probation once they were, allowed to get on the team. But since it's just been me and Deagan and Zach and Michelle, it's kind of funny because now it's easier to work with schedules because we know, 3 of us live in the same house. And then it's just a matter of getting a hold of Michelle to see if we can, get her schedule to coordinate as well. But, so far with just me and Deagan going out, I think we've had fun and getting some scheduling done.
Yeah.
And it's easier when it's just 2 of you. Somebody can call and say, hey, can you come? And we're like, yeah. You don't have to check with 20 people, on the team to see who can make it.
Right.
But that is fun. I am still going to ask you, I was being nosy on the website today, which that's kind of a cool website, by the way.
Thanks.
I don't know who did y'all's website. I'm a little jealous because it's a little bit better than my WordPress. But it's pretty neat. So tell me, y'all talk about your methods of investigating are scientific, sensitive, and old-fashioned. Do what?
Oh, I was going to say that's my dad. Dad on my team. He does the website.
Yeah, it's nice. I like how you can click on stuff and like you click on one thing and the whole thing kind of rotates around and then it pops up. It's very, very nicely done.
Right. Now,
very nicely done.
Now
are you having a bit of a delay hearing me?
Yeah, a little bit.
Sheri, do we lose you?
I figured. We're going to slow the show down. See what?
I thought we'd lost
Eric?
you. I thought we'd lost you.
No, I think it's just internet connection. Y'all, this is live TV. We're going to just kind of roll with it, and that's one thing I love about doing these shows is we just kind of roll with the punches. Kind of like you rolled out of the picture. Anyway, so when we were at Unity Fest, I think you and I both were talking about some old-fashioned ways of investigating, and I kind of wanted to talk about that tonight because, we see a lot of people that are out there with, and I'm not bashing the technology, so y'all don't even start, but I see a lot of people out there with some of the latest and greatest in the technology world, but as you know, with any kind of computerized anything, that stuff can just tell. So I think a lot of people, and maybe more than what we realize, are going back to that old method of using your gut instinct and use some of the batteries not required type of items when investigating. So tell me kind of what some of your favorite things are that don't require batteries and kind of, where you guys are headed with all that.
Well, some of the things that we're doing, we're actually taking some of the new technology, and some of the old technology, but we're using it in a way to monitor the environment and testing old theories, because there's a lot of people in the paranormal, and we're all guilty of it from watching TV or listening to other people and on other teams. They'll say, well, there's a cold spot here, so that must mean that there's a spirit drawing the energy from the air in order to manifest themselves. We've all said it, but how many times has anybody actually tested those theories? And I'm sure there are teams out there that do it, and it's just one of the things that we want to start doing. And testing fire, testing quartz. We did that on an investigation.
Now, how are you going to go about testing quartz?
Well, we didn't get any results through our evidence review, but what we tried to do was we did one 10-minute interval with just the equipment, laying down on the floor, and then we asked a set of questions. Then after 10 minutes, we brought in a set of quartz that have not been charged, because they can hold energy. And we set them around the equipment and asked the same questions, did it the exact same way. And then the third stage, we brought in some quartz that we had put on top of an EM pump and was charging them with EMF. And we brought them in and set them down and did the same set of questions again. So, I mean, it's one of those things, yeah, we didn't get any results, but does that mean you don't try it again? You got to keep trying and trying. And then after a certain amount of time, if you're not getting any results, then you might move on to something else. But scientifically, folks out there say all the time, well, I'm scientific. I walk around with a K2 meter and a temperature gauge. No, you're walking around with pieces of equipment. You're not scientific.
Right.
Bring that scientific method in that we all learned in high school. And so we're going with that a little bit. This was
Right.
This wasn't my idea. Generally, this came from the members of the team. We sat down one day and said, hey, let's stop being the team that just goes around asking EVP questions and, the same old thing when we go, because a lot of these places you have to pay money to go to. We know they're on it, like we're going to Hill House in June. We've been to Hill House 3 times. Well,
I love Hill.
Go to Hill House to prove ghosts there. I know they're there. I'm going to go there and try using the spirits that are there to test our theories out in our experiment. So that's what we're doing. And I'm actually bringing Jeremy Jones. Yeah, I'm bringing Jeremy Jones and all his gadgets so that he can help monitor the environment a little bit more in depth with what he has while we're doing this.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Hill House is a good place to test out too, because I don't care how many times you've been there, it's a new experience every time you go.
Yeah.
Every time.
Jeremy, for the first time, and I've investigated him, several times. I even made Jeremy go, wow, because we threw. Mike was talking to a spirit there, and Martin, he got a deck of cards, and he said, I'm going to throw these up to the ceilings, and you tell me which card is going to land face up. And before he tossed them up, Mike said the spirit said 9 of spades. Well, he threw them up in the air, and you saw one card kind of move away from the, it was real quick, but you kind of, if you slow it down in the video, you see one card kind of float away, and it was the card that landed face up, and it was 9 of spades. And Jeremy was downstairs on the monitors, and he was cussing. He was like, oh, my, yeah. So that was good.
I bet he was. That's awesome. That's awesome. I don't see cards in our bag. We need to put a deck of cards in. We have Dominate. We've been playing with Dominate and the pendulum a little bit. That's why I was asking you about the quartz, because I've been reading about some of that stuff with a rose quartz, and then I think there's I can't remember what the other one is, but I want to get those put on my pendulum and see what we get with it. Kind of what you were doing with not just having it sitting there, but actually seeing if it would manipulate the quartz. What were you saying? He's in rare form over here. Just wait till he starts talking. We had him talking last week. That was last week.
That was
Get him going. We need to get him out hunting more, I think is what it is.
Yeah. I had one psychic tell me a couple weeks ago on my radio show that I need to look for quartz, and I can't remember what she said. It has like a green, something green on the inside of the quartz. She said those really pump out EMF. So I need to do some.
Green on the inside of it?
Yeah.
It's that kryptonite. Boy, we got something over here tonight. Damn.
I'll call Lex Luthor and see if I can get some of that.
Somebody find me Clark Kent. So I've got a question in the chat room for you from my sister Pear. What's up, girl? She says to ask you if you have any experiments with the Tibetan singing bowls.
What was with what?
A Tibetan singing bowl.
She wants to know if you have any the Tibetan singing bowls.
Dee Dee actually has a singing bowl. We did it a little bit at Perry Unity during our presentation. We're actually going to do that at South Manor in a couple months. We're going to bring out the bowl and see what happens when we vibrate the place with that. That thing is crazy. Have you ever felt one of those when the bowls?
I've never seen one.
Well,
Huh?
did a demonstration right next to us out there, and they made. Yeah,
I've never even seen. Where was I when this was happening?
probably one of the guest speakers. And
Dang, I missed so much at Unity Fest. I didn't realize I missed. I hadn't even seen one of these. This is the first I've heard about it.
Yeah, we have one.
So is it like? I mean, like, how big is this thing?
Like that.
And what's it made out of?
It's like a ceramic type bowl, and you got like this. Heck, I don't know the terminology. Some kind of little stick, and you hit it, and it starts vibrating, and you go around the bowl, and and your whole body feels the vibrations of it.
So you got it out on an investigation. You got it in a room. So how are you? I missed the demonstration. I'm being told I had not been in the room yet. That's what my freak's telling me. How do you use it with the spirits then?
Because it gives off, it's so, your body, you can feel the vibration and the tone. It gives off, if you've ever heard about investigators or even psychics talk about it a lot with vibrations, a certain vibration. And in our field, there are sayings that spirits operate on certain vibration fields.
Right, frequencies and vibrations, yeah.
Yeah, and think about when you go, a homeowner calls you, and they said, hey, I live in a 100-year-old home, and I'm renovating the house, and all of a sudden there's activity in my house because we're renovating. Well, what is renovating doing? You have hammers, saws, all that, creating a lot of vibration in that home. Think about Hill House. You've been there. That train that's right down the road. When that train's coming, it shakes the house.
Yeah. So what do you do? So like at the beginning of your investigation, you come in, you get the bowl going, and then you just kind of see what happens for the rest of the night? Or do you come back in and do it several different times throughout the night?
Well, we haven't tried it yet. But what we're going to do at Hill House is we're going to investigate for part of the night, not use the bowl, just do our regular thing, right? And then halfway through, we'll stop, and we're going to use that bowl, shake the place up, and see what happens after we do with the bowl. See if we get anything different.
I'll be curious to see about that. See, I missed something else cool at Unity Fest. And I even came in, I guess I was a little bit late. What Freak was telling me is I was a little bit late coming into y'all's presentation because I came in, I guess maybe 5 or 10 minutes into it and watched y'all's presentation because we were still trying to get set up. So I guess I missed that part of it. And then I might have been in the other room, like you said, when Art was showing it. Man, you can never cover enough of those things.
Yeah, well, you get to see it again at East Texas Ghost Con when we do our classes. We're going to do the same type of demonstration.
I cannot wait for that because I missed last year. I know Chris went last year and I got to hear all about it and I was kind of jealous, but I'm looking forward to going this year and hanging out and doing some of the places that were there and some of the stories I heard and some of the results that received last year. Amazing. So I'm going to have fun with that. And you've not been either. I mean, as far as I've been out there is Jefferson to the Pride House. So I haven't even been to Marshall at all.
Oh, Marshall's a great town. A lot of old stuff.
It's in October.
Oh, yeah.
I was say it's got a lot of history too, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Is this what y'all's second year?
Yeah, this is our second year.
Hotel Marshall. I'm sitting here reading what Freak's telling me. So this year we've got what, new locations, or are they the same ones as last year?
Hotel Marshall is still on the list. I haven't updated Eventbrite page because I'm waiting on the information, but we have a house in downtown Marshall that's over 100 years old. It's 6,000 square feet, 3 stories, has a basement, and there's a slave quarters in the back. And there's no furniture. The lady has moved out, bought a smaller home, but she is letting us investigate it. And Mike and I have been in it, and there are spirits.
Nice.
Yeah. And then we're working on 2 other locations. We got
nice. Now, aren't there 3 locations for GhostCon?
There's 4. I do 4 locations, and you get about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes at each location. But the teams this year, last year I tried to rotate the teams and the public, and of course Dee Dee went down. She ended up having to go to the hospital for appendix, so it got out of control. So this year I'm putting the teams in, I'm going to split the teams up. They're going to be in the same building all night.
Nice.
For them, I'm going to give the teams all the claims, the history of the building, and it's almost like they're holding their own little public investigation. So they'll be in that building all night and they can investigate it.
Now, is the public going to rotate in and out, and the team stay put, or are you going to leave the public in with the same team?
No, public will rotate. They're going to be rotating with members of Unknown, and we're working on a shuttle bus system and actually going to bus them to the location. So,
that'll be nice.
Yeah. So
that'll be good for the teams that are getting some activity to continue it. And as new people are coming in, that's going to be kind of an experiment of its own, is just to see if new people coming in are going to affect it.
Yeah.
Anything that's crazy? No. Sorry, the boys are working out in the gym, and we keep hearing this knocking sound, and it's like, and it's the boys. The weights are hitting the concrete out there in the gym. You know, we have spirits in my house, so we're gonna watch that. All right. So, okay, so we've got, you're going to my favorite place in Arkansas. You're going to my other favorite place in Gainesville, and we've got GhostCon. What else are you doing?
We're actually going to go in that house that I told you about for GhostCon, either July or August. My team's going to go in and investigate it, so we kind of have an idea for the conference, what's going on in there. So whoever gets that building, as far as the teams, we can kind of give them an idea what's up with that building. And September, we're not doing anything because we're going to, I don't have much hair right now, so I'll probably be bald by then trying to get the conference together. But I'm also in the process of working on getting ownership of the old Pittsburgh Hospital in Pittsburgh, Texas. So
what's going on with all that right now? You know, I've seen a lot of stuff on Facebook about trying to save it and all of that. What's the latest on that?
Well, I've kind of teamed up with some people that are in the entertainment industry, and with their proposal in mind, we're kind of going in this together because I found out through some of my friends that Texas is giving a huge tax break to Hollywood, films, television, that kind of thing, to come film down here in Texas. So I'm using that to my advantage, and my friend he's currently pitching a show to a major network, and he wants to film the first 6 episodes of that at that hospital, because it doesn't have to be a hospital. You can make it whatever you want. So we're working on that, and I'm on the paranormal side, so I'm going to, obviously turn it into a scientific research center for teams to come investigate, and I'm going to create a nonprofit organization, for the hospital so that all the money that the teams are paying in goes to the building for renovations, upkeep, whatnot. Jeremy has had some interest in it as well. He said he might even donate some equipment to the building for teams to use during investigation. So I got tons of people that that want to help out with this. So I was like, man, I'll take all the help I can get. If we can get a research center in this part of the state, you guys are in Dallas, 2.5 hour drive. You can investigate a 65,000 square foot hospital all night,
See, that'd be awesome. I've heard people have had some great experiences out there, and I've wanted to go out there, just haven't had the chance yet. So that would be awesome. Yeah,
there's a lot of spirits there. Mike, with his ability, he pretty much counted about 15 that came in contact with him that night, and wow. Martha Decker said that her team had about the same amount. Part of my team, Shonda and Jeff, they were upstairs and they got something thrown at them. There was doors slamming. There was disembodied voice. One person got pushed. So there's a lot of object manipulation and lots of things like that going on there.
That's what Deegan said. That's what he wants. He wants something thrown at him. I'd like to videotape that.
Take him, when you go back to the sanatorium, take him to the basement. Last time we were there, we had rocks thrown at us down there.
I've been there. We went the end of last summer, and I had two of my teens with me. It was actually, I'm trying to think. I guess I didn't have Zach with me. It was Andrew and Michelle that went, and they were down there in the morgue, and they were actually sitting in the room in the morgue, and I was so proud of them for, stepping up and doing that. And we sat there all night. We were waiting for something, and there were, Crystal was there that night with her team at the time, and there were a couple other people there. I think there was probably about 10 of us. And that place is so big, you can't hear each other anyway. And so we take a break and we all go back to the conference room, and everybody's talking about all these experiences they had. And we're like, yeah, we were in the morgue. And they were like, did you get anything? No. And everybody's like, what? And I'm like, I think they were all after you guys upstairs because we didn't get anything. But then on I want to say it was the 3rd floor, we started playing some music and told the patients that curfew had been lifted that night and we were going to have a dance party, and you could totally feel the energy in that place just change. And we started seeing things like, patients coming out of their room and in the hallway. And so, no, Zach was there because then Zach starts dancing with them and stuff. And I tell you what, that place, I can't wait to go back and get some more. And I definitely want some activity down there in that morgue.
Yeah. Larry brought out his Tesla coil, and let me tell you, when he fired up that Tesla coil, man, I had to back away. It was just so much energy, and the activity just got great. 2 people got scratched. Dee Dee got grabbed on her arm, had a whole hand print on her arm. You could see all the fingers. It was all red. It was pretty nuts.
Wow. Yeah, Crystal's telling me the amazing dowsing rod sessions. I mean, we had such a good time there. It was like, it's like the whole night went by so fast, and you still wanted to do so much more. So I'm looking forward to going back, and I'm looking forward to seeing what Deegan gets out of it too, because that place, it's phenomenal.
Oh yeah, definitely.
For some reason, you light up a room.
I do. I mean, you ever notice that? Like, whenever I'm in the presence of something, we get readings, part of the phenomenon.
Yeah.
I think that keeps it that actually.
We're going to start sticking him in some of the more scarier places. Nobody wants to mess with a pair of badass.
Take him to Yorktown and put him in the basement.
We're going to Yorktown finally in September. I've been waiting for almost 3 full years to get down to Yorktown. And I'm taking my Akita with me. I've gotten permission from Phil to be able to take my Akita in as long as I clean up after him. So that'll be our first canine investigation. We're getting a puppy between now and then. I don't think the puppy's going to be ready. You can be chasing the puppy more than anything. We're taking the big dog. So yeah, I'll be curious to see how my first canine investigation goes, because I haven't taken Kane out anywhere yet.
Yeah, I have a dog as well.
I don't know if hardly any teams that.
Yeah, I have a dog as well, and
Oh, they have done it. Have you taken your dog out before, Kevin?
Not yet. I've been kind of working with her, trying to get her to identify EMF. I've been talking to a guy that trains canines up north for paranormal investigations. He's done his. And, basically you put an EM pump under a box. And, you start with a box open on top. You don't put it down. You put it up top, put the EM pump in one, put another box with a hot dog or some kind of treat that gives off a good smell. And you have them sniff around, and you find... It's a long story, but you keep doing that for a while, and you train them to identify the hot dog, and then you take the hot dog away, and you give them a treat when they find the EM pump. But dogs can smell EMF. I don't know if you know this. They can smell EMF, and that's how they know. Like if you come in, madder than hell, they'll know it because they can smell it. They can smell that energy coming off of you. So I'm definitely going to start taking my dog out. She's a bit hyped, but she's a German Shepherd, so she's got a good smell on her.
Yeah, I've got an Akita, and what I'm curious to see is Akitas are natural-born protectors. That's what they were bred for. Is to see taking Kane off leash, which I never have to worry about him on leash or off leash, but taking him off leash and seeing how close he stays to me, and just kind of seeing how protective he is of the team and when he does alert, because you can tell by his ears and his tail when he alerts. So I want to train him, but I want to do that whole before and after type thing where I take him in with no training, see how he does, and then do some training and see if there's any difference. Because I think, the dogs have a natural instinct for their owners, regardless what breed they are. So I'm curious to see, with no training, what's he going to do?
Yeah, I agree.
Kane's one of the other team, pretty much.
Really?
Oh, well, I know he's not the biggest breed, but that's by far the biggest dog I've seen in a long time. I mean, the dog that ever bred was 170. Has to be.
Oh, he's a big dog. Yeah,
I'm 6'3", and I can't even put my arms around him. That's how big he is.
Well, and the other thing that I'm curious about, so you know how you go to the park with your dog? What's the first thing kids do? They walk up and they want to pet your dog. They want to talk to your dog, interact with your dog. If you take that dog to a hospital, like if I was even to take him up to Arkansas, how many kid spirits are we going to get reacting to that dog?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So I'm curious to see.
Even a prison, because animals they weren't able to be around animals, and a lot of them were like dog or cat lovers. So yeah, it definitely could be some kind of basically a trigger object in a way.
Object. You can't take a cat because a cat would freak out, but we could take a dog. We could take our puppy once we get the puppy. Take the puppy up to Arkansas. Especially since that was a tuberculosis hospital and everybody was quarantined up there.
Mm-hmm.
You'd have to keep them away from the dead pigeons, though. That's gross.
Yeah,
I'm going to take that dog. Get a chance to die.
Yeah. Crystal's telling me that she bets the little girl at Yorktown will interact with my Akita.
Yeah.
We'll just have to make sure. We'll have to put like a little collar on with like a little bag of candy. Come pet the dog, get some candy. He won't eat candy.
He would chew his own makeup trying to get that stuff.
Oh my god. Anywho. Okay, so what else did I have down to talk to you about? You guys do cleansings on your team?
Yeah.
So do y'all have to do those quite often?
Yeah. In fact, I had a phone call from a client yesterday. We cleansed her home about 3 months ago. There hasn't been any activity, and then something happened this weekend, and all of a sudden the activity is cranked up again. And you know, a lot of times there's times when you're talking to a client, you just got to flat out be honest with them and be straightforward and say, look, if you don't go by what we tell you on how to prevent these things from coming back in, you know it's going to happen. And I told them, I said, we cleanse, we push the spirits out. The energy was good there, and they didn't have any activity. I thought I was done with this case. I had put it aside, you know, because I have some other clients I'm working with right now. And then she called me yesterday and said there was all kinds of stuff going on. And I'm like, look, when you tell a spirit to leave your home, a human spirit, they're going to leave. And if you invite them back, they're going to come back in. So somebody in that home has done some sort of invitation, whether it's a thought process. She didn't even know that. I told her, I said, you can just think about it. You know, where's that spirit at that was in this house tormenting us, this, that, and other? You start that thought process, it's going to be right back in your house.
They're going to show you. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know, it's kind of sad when you go out and you talk to clients and you tell them, don't do this and don't do that. And, you know, within a week or two, you're getting a call because they did exactly what you told them not to.
Yep.
Now you've got to come right back out there.
Yeah.
And, you know, it sucks. We don't get paid for what we do. So here we are wasting time and gas. Go back out there and fix them, and we could be devoting that time towards somebody else that's having some issues.
You know, and like this client that I have, she's got a lot of health issues, and a lot of medicine she takes. And she fell this weekend on her front porch, and it started coming out of her mouth that the spirit did it. I said, hold up. You have a lot of medical problems. You cannot say every time something happens to you that it's a ghost. Because if there isn't anything there, you're going to invite something in your home. And you've got to get out of that thought process. I said, do you have any proof that a spirit pushed you or you fell? She go like, no, I just fell. Well, stop thinking that way. You know, you're trying to pull this thing back in. So, and some of the stuff that's going on is more like the front door opening and closing.
Watch the balance.
Huh? Oh, I was just saying that, like, the front door's opening and closing. Well, if you've driven a spirit out and you've saged the home and you've sealed it up, that spirit can be outside. And it can do things on the outside to say, hey, I'm still here. And it'll come right back in. You know, we've had, I don't know if you've ever had cases where you've gotten rid of the spirits and then the homeowner claims that there's knocks on the windows or bangs on the outside of the house. That's the spirit trying to get you to start thinking about it again and you know.
Well, and sometimes it makes you wonder, you know, we had a private investigation interview Sunday, and we're going back to investigate on Friday. And, you know, you start going through with your client, you go through the list of questions in the interview process, and you start with the process of elimination. Okay, where were you when this happened?
I think we lost Sheri. It's amazing it lasted that long.
Yeah, I know, right?
Do Do you guys have a protocol that you go by?
Okay, I'm back.
For initial interviews?
You know, I think the spirits in my house are getting tired of me talking. Do what, Eric?
I was just
Are we
asking
back
Kevin.
on?
Yeah, you're coming back. I was just asking Kevin if they had a protocol with Unknown that they used for every client.
Yeah, we do. I normally take the phone call. I do an initial interview with a client. I write down. I basically listen to everything they say. Write down claims. I'll ask them, about who's living in the house, how old they are, any medical issues, any psychological issues, medications. The list goes on and on. And then what we do after that is then we set up a time, and myself and a few others in my group, I always keep it to the same people in my team. There's about 4 of us. We handle all residential cases. That way we got some kind of, like a routine. We know what we're doing. I don't want to keep bringing in different people on my team for that. And the team's fine with that as well. And we go in, we sit down, we have a conversation, we start running an EVP recorder just to see if we can catch anything. We'll do a walk of the house. We might take some readings to kind of see, if there's some EMF problems in the home, and see if it correlates with what she's telling, he or she is telling me they're having paranormal activity. And that's basically where we start. Normally we have somebody that's got some kind of psychic ability that's on our team, and there's several of them. And they go in cold. I don't tell them anything about the claims. I don't tell them anything about the house, the history, nothing. And they'll do a read of the house, and we'll see if it correlates with what the client says. And we do a lot. For us, we do a lot of counseling. It seems like we're doing a lot of counseling with the family. And I've done probably, I would say 50, 55 residential since I've been in Unknown, and we've only done one full-blown investigation where you bring in all the equipment, the DVR, all that. Everything else has been light equipment and more counseling, helping the family, explain to them the process of driving these things out of their home, because people don't realize they have a lot of power in their home. This is my home. You don't belong here. Now, when you get into more darker type cases, or you get into spirits that are attached to an object or those type of things, then it's a different process. But a lot of times, just by empowering the people that live there can rid them of the activity.
Now, do you find yourselves having to go back more than one time sometimes at a client location?
Oh, yeah. It's never... For any team out there that's new and you think that you can go to a client's home one time and fix the issue, you obviously are not doing anything right. Because I have, all the teams that I'm friends with, there ain't one team out there that has not said they have gone multiple times to a client's home. Even after you fix their issues, you still have to call them every now and then and follow up and let them know you're still there if they need you, And like I said, 3 months later, I'm getting a call from one of my clients from 3 months ago. So, it happens.
Well, we find sometimes, one of the residentials that we've done together, one of Deagan's first ones, one of Deagan's first ones that we went on, we actually went in, talked to the homeowner, got a little bit of her history, did our investigation, came up with some more stuff during the investigation, and went back 3 more times just to be able to get all the information we needed. And I still think we could have gone a 4th time before our team split up. So, when I'm still staying in touch with her, we'll still go back out there one more time based on what we know to track everything. I think he just wanted to go out there and say, hey, we've done an investigation. We were able to wrap things up for him. I'm like, man, y'all must be freaking awesome, because it takes me 3 or 4 times going back out there before I'm getting answers to the questions that I had from my first time.
Right. There's only a
lot of it is based on what I told you.
Yeah, we're going on 3, almost July will be 3 years that Unknown's been together, and in the 3 years we've been together, I've only had 1 residential case where I've actually had to stop helping the client. Period. I had to basically abort, because it involved a demonic type entity. We even brought in Richard Contreras. He came all the way down here to East Texas to help this family out. Even right before Richard did his ceremonial fire that he does, it started attacking the boy, and I witnessed scratches appearing all over his body right in front of me. And Richard did his thing, got rid of it, and Richard gave him specific instructions on how to keep this kind of entity away. And 3 days later, it came back. And they didn't want to do anything Richard told them, didn't want to do anything we told them. And, my hands are tied at that point. Needless to say, there's nothing else I can do until they fix the family and fix what's going on within that family. They're always going to have this thing around.
Well, if they came out and asked you for the help, they need to be open enough to listen to the advice that you give to be able to get rid of it. You either want to get rid of it or you don't. And this case, we worked on this case for over a year working with these people, and it progressively got worse to the point where we had to bring in somebody like Richard to help us, because it got to that point where there's not more that our team can do, so we've got to bring somebody else in. So, it's a sad situation. And the last time I heard about what's going on in that family, the boy that's being tormented by this thing he's in bad shape. Yeah, and see, all the family have to do is listen to the advice that you're giving. Yeah. That just, that's disturbing, because you've got this little boy that needs help, and the family's not wanting to do what they need to provide it. Right. Yeah, and like Dee said, they can't really go anywhere and escape it, because it's going to stay with them.
Exactly. And, it's not the boy. Well, the boy has something to do with it. It's been around him so long that he's kind of attached to it himself. And he's used to it being around. But the mom and the stepdad and the father, there's constant arguing. There's constant fighting. They don't want to stop giving it fuel. And, it's just one of those things. I wish them the best of luck. If they call me back, and say, hey, we want to listen now, then yeah, I'll help them. I'm not going to turn my back on them. But
it's just making it worse.
Yeah, until that day comes, that case right there, it came after us. All of our lives, the 4 people that were on my team that were involved in that case, every one of us had a lot of tragic things happening around us in our families. And I got fired from my job. It's one of those things where not only are they going through stuff, but it affects us too. It's not, for people out there, it's not fun and games to deal with these kind of things. It's tough.
Well, and you have to be ready to deal with a lot of it. Those things, they don't want us getting rid of them. They want to stay in their happy little environment, causing havoc.
Had the entity been negative towards the boy the whole time, or did it gradually get worse?
It started out. It started out pretty innocent, like it always does. These things try to win somebody's trust, and they think it's just everyday spirit or whatnot. And it progressively got worse to the point that it was throwing furniture and stuff, and at the grandparents' house, and his grandparents are in their 80s, late 90s, and it was scaring the crap out of these old people. And it was something out of a movie. you know, and I've seen these things from my own eyes, and so, yeah, it's crazy.
Well, you just hope that eventually they wise up enough to do what they need to do to get rid of it.
Yeah.
But at that point, I mean, if that's been, you know, a year you guys were working on it, and who knows how long it's been since you've been out there, how much more attached has this thing gotten to not just the boy, but the family, especially if there's a lot of bickering and fighting going on. They thrive off of that stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. But like I said, I'm working on 3 cases right
We
now.
got some storms getting ready to roll in here. Our winds out here.
Oh, that means it's coming my way in about 3 hours. I always get what y'all get.
Yep, you're not gonna be sleeping tonight. You get a little after we did. So okay, so who's on your radio show Sunday night?
This Sunday I have Dawn Short, psychic medium.
Dawn, yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah.
She is awesome. I think I've got her scheduled for June on our show. I'll have to look back up my schedule. So, okay, so we got a few minutes here. Let's wrap up. Let's give some kudos out to your team. Tell everybody how they can get a hold of your team, where to listen to your radio show on Sunday, and all that fun stuff.
All right. Our website is www.unknownpg.com. We're on Facebook under the name Spirit Casper. You can friend us on there. Because obviously Facebook wouldn't let me put Unknown as the first name, Paranormal as the last name, so I had to make up a name, so that's where Spirit Casper came from. It's not the name of the team. We're on Twitter, UnknownPG.com, UnknownPG 2010 on Twitter. If you need us, you want to email us, you can email us on Yahoo. Our email address is unknownpg2010@yahoo.com. Conference, if you want to come to a really good conference here in East Texas, it's only a couple hours from Dallas. We'll be in Marshall, Texas, October 4th, 5th, and 6th. And you can find all the information on that at Eventbrite. The website is www.easttexasghostcon2013.eventbrite.com. And for the radio show, we have 6 shows a week on the Unknown Radio Network. You can find all those shows, all the lineup, the hosts, upcoming guests. You go to www.blogtalk.com/unknownpg and check us out.
You have 6 shows a week?
I don't do 6 shows. I'm the, quote, producer. I'm only on air
I
on...
was just saying, where's me? I'm just doing one.
I'm on air Sundays, Unknown Paranormal Radio, and then on Tuesdays, Terrify Radio with Jody Parks. And the rest of the week is other teams doing their own shows.
Wow.
Kind of like how we keep everything him busy with Ben.
Keep everybody challenged.
Right?
All right, well, I am looking forward to hearing from you about Arkansas and the singing bowl and catching up. I don't even know if I'll see you before October. We'll have to see if we can go about in between.
Right. Sounds good. Well, the wind's kicking up here now.
All right, Freak says thanks and to be safe and stuff. Yeah, I can hear it. I think we're about to have a real good downpour here. All right, well, let's see. So you got your show Sunday 8 to 10. We've got next week on our show, I've got Scare Paranormal, and we are actually going to be on their show for 2 hours before. So it's going to be 3 hours of fun. I cannot wait. You know me, I can talk forever. And with those guys, we're going to have a good time. So it'll be fun. All right, well, good luck. I'm sure I'll catch up with you on Facebook here in a little bit. And
we're out. See you guys next Wednesday.
All right. Thanks for having me on.